else that can go.
Yeah, I mean the vote. What it was net 2 right down, or 1 if you add Gus, right? So he was at 199 compared to 200. Kevin was down to 200 at the low point of his voting during the 15 cycles. So I mean it's not meaningfully different, right? I mean this is just the process. We went through the process in January. So we'll see what happens now, where Mr. Jordan wants to go next, and I'm sticking with him through the process. And again, the number's not dramatically different. With the 4 lost, 2 gained, plus 1 who came back.
Strategically, Jordan said earlier that he asked leadership to go ahead and put the resolution on the floor that said that Nick Henry would be empowered, because he said he wants to see where people are on whether or not they want to.
Yeah, I mean, I think
what do you think?
Well, look, I think what Jim is doing is calling the bluff of folks that say that they're going to go work out a deal with Democrats. Good luck selling that back home, that you're going to go cut a deal with Democrats to choose the speaker. The fact is, I think I do not favor moving to the floor on that procedure. Never in the history of this institution, never, to the best of my knowledge, have we ever appointed a speaker pro tem with the full powers of the speakership without having elected a duly elected speaker. We have not done that to the best of my knowledge. To do that would be playing games with such an important position as third in line to the presidency. We should do our job and select a speaker. The Constitution says that. So any move to do otherwise is contrary to the Constitution and would do enormous damage to not just the Republican Party, but the House of Representatives. And I violently oppose any effort to do that on the floor of the House.
Do you think there would be a legal challenge to that?
I mean, I believe it's constitutionally not just questionable. I think it is directly contrary to the Constitution in terms of saying that we shall choose a speaker. And to go appoint somebody with the full powers of the speaker without having chosen the speaker makes no sense. So I think we need to take a step back, do our job, and choose a speaker.
Congressman, how many rounds are you willing to go with Jordan? And also, do you think
however long it takes?
Do you think those who are opposing Jordan will be willing to budge at this point? What is your sense?
You'd have to ask them. I mean, again, this is something that every one of us has a vote, and you have to answer to your constituents for your vote. So if my colleagues are comfortable with their vote, then they'll answer to their constituents for it.
You told us here yesterday that you wanted to hear the members come out and say why they were against Jim Jordan. Have you heard any of their concerns?
I've had a lot of private conversations with my colleagues, and many of them are friends. And but again, they got to explain what the motivations are here. And I think motivations of whatever past recriminations and issues of like looking backwards. I don't think that sells very well. I think the question here is how we go forward. And Mr. Jordan is receiving the vast majority of Republican votes. I mean, basically around the same that Kevin was getting at the low point of his numbers, 198 compared to 200, 199 compared to 200.
So what do you do if those holdouts are unwilling to change?
Talk to them and keep moving forward.
What do you make of appropriators, especially those in Texas, voting against Jordan?
Well, I mean, again, I'm not going to talk about any of my colleagues specifically. They each have their own vote. They got to go explain it to their constituents. I can just tell you that there's a lot of support for Jim Jordan in Texas, so I wouldn't want to be on the other side of that, knowing the voters of Texas. But it is not lost on me that appropriators and essentially House Armed Services Committee folks are the most skeptical at the moment, right? When you're trying to change the status quo, stop spending money we don't have, and stop engaging in endless conflict with the money that we don't have, they tend to bite back.
When you talk about the